I think back 30 years, it seems like it was just yesterday that we started it. But when I stop and think about it, it seems like it's probably more than 30 years.
Multiple lifetimes. To me, it's a confirmation on a life well spent, because we really are in it to make a difference in people's lives.
When I started Katy College Prep, it was really out of necessity. I was working for a really large test prep company and the SEC closed them down. We all lost our jobs, and I was 8.5 months pregnant at the time, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Because I loved my job. I loved test prep. I loved working with the students. So I was driving down the road and just very prayerful, like, God, what should I be doing next? And I looked up and I saw this sign that said tutoring. And I was like, I could do this. I could do this on my own.
She was 8.5 months pregnant at that point with our only daughter.
And I had her on a Wednesday, and
after 18 hours of labor.
June 17th, I had her, and Monday I taught my first class.
What happened in that first summer with those 21 kids is she treated them like her own.
We grew the business one student at a time.
When I started back in 2004, we had two campuses. We had a Colleyville campus and we had a Plano campus. And then in 2013, we added the Frisco campus, and then in 2016, we had added the Capel campus. So we were adding campuses as needed throughout the Metroplex. We eventually then added the Flower Mound campus shortly after the Capel one.
We had one computer in the office in Colleyville. All of the students had manila paper files. And so I think one of the craziest things that we had to do was we hand graded all of the tests that we gave.
The culture and the dynamic that Katie, that Karen and David instilled throughout the organization has never changed.
Companies talk about being mission-driven all the time, but it's the heart of everything we do. Every student that walks through the door every day matters to us.
We've always been dedicated to giving kids honest answers. I'm not going to give you fluff. I'm going to be true to who I am, but I'm also going to respect your decisions as a parent and a student, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
We're basically trying to guide them all the way through this process. It's not just I care about your score and that's all I care about. That's not our philosophy.
I really can't imagine working at a company where you don't have a long-term relationship with a family. Rather than knowing a kid for, a couple of classes or, a year of tutoring, being able to continue that relationship and, see them get married or become doctors or, go on to law school or become pilots, that makes us different.
So we're with your student with our complete program until they graduate high school or until they get the score they need. You can pick up the phone, call, stop by any time with your questions, and we'll do our best to try to help you.
The most meaningful gift we could give them is not a test score. It's how to be prepared for challenges in life and overcome them.
For so many years, we were providing college counseling, but it was just kind of one-off in small conversations. And I think it came from just the fear and the uncertainty that was there with our families, because we always took our role as being more than just test prep. And so college counseling just naturally grew out of that. And so trying to give people as many options to meet them where they are and get them the help that they want and need, because the college process is confusing. Let's just face it.
I think we've always been looking to grow outside of the Metroplex. The changes that happened during COVID and the access to the technology made it easier for us to understand what we were needing to do, how we could go about doing it, and be able to feel confident that we were able to deliver the quality of instruction that we were able to do locally in a digital environment.
Well, for 30 years, we were a local company that in the DFW area that people had to drive up to the front of one of our locations to take part. We now have clients in over 35 states and have some people that are doing it in other countries as well.
There's so many good success stories that I feel like I would be cheating on the other ones to pick one.
There was a student at the Colleyville campus many years ago, and none of his family had ever been to college. His parents didn't speak English yet, and he wanted to go to a really competitive college. And we worked with him. He got a full tuition scholarship to Stanford. I will never forget him coming in and telling me that when he called home to his extended family to tell them that he was going to go to Stanford, and how he realized that he had just changed like the entire trajectory of his family, and how special that was to him and how thankful he was for the opportunity.
So my name is Elise. I just graduated from LD Bell High School, and next year I will be attending Harvard University to major in molecular and cellular biology with a pre-med track. My favorite thing about KD is probably all of the practice tests that it had to offer and the review sessions. Those are what helped me the most with my SAT score. It helped me go from a 1270 to a 1570, which is a really drastic jump. And I couldn't have done it without all of those resources that I had in hand.
One of the hardest working students I've ever seen in my entire life was her dream was A&M. And she put in so much time, so much work, and she just had to get that 1200, just that 100 points. And one day she came into my office and goes, just looked in there, 1210. And she went, thanks, and walked away. I was like,
The great test scores we all celebrate. The getting into a particular college, we love to see. But seeing the points that we can really change somebody's life by just showing them the way through tough times has been so rewarding.
Each student has the potential to be a world changer. Being able to see the longevity and see where they go, remembering who they were when I first met them, and that growth and the maturity and the confidence that they've gained, those are real lives, and the things that they've learned are going to impact so many people.
Because I'm from this community, I grew up in this community, to be able to give back to the community means a lot to me.
We thought we were a maturing company. We're really late bloomers. The future holds much more for us than the past 30 years. And we can't help to see where this goes. We help dreams come true.